All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are Wednesday night. Here we go again. Another exciting evening with some powerful information to be shared with you. My name is Gerald W. Parker. I'm joined tonight on the platform with my co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner, out of South Florida. Guys, it's an exciting time. We've got so much to share with you. And listen, Eric, I believe that there's no better time based on where we are in the economy, the status quo. We've got the fix. We can propel our lives to a totally different level because we've got the tools to do it. We've got everything that we need right here in front of us. All we've got to do now is begin to apply these principles and watch it work for us so that we can live the dream, and not just dream about it anymore, but actually live it. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to have this young man on the platform because he brings such power, and not just his work, but his life and what he stands for. It runs deep in him. I've always said this. I've had a chance to meet his father, and I know now the apple doesn't fall far from the tree because he talks about core values, these beliefs that he has, that he not only wants for himself, but he wants for everyone that he meets and believes it's possible. And no question about it. And I think the marriage between what he desires to do for people and MWR is the perfect combination so that we can help people fulfill their destiny and live out these core values that Eric Wilden will talk about. Eric, if you could share those things with us, please, sir.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. But first of all, it is great to be with you. Every time that I come and I hang out with you, I get more pumped up. You have such a great attitude, an infectious smile, but the energy that you bring is exactly the opposite of what we get in the media, right? Everyone's worried about inflation, the cost of eggs, the cost of gasoline. They're worried about the interest rates. What's the Fed going to do? All of the things that are going on in the economy, and there's so much uncertainty circling around that I hope that our guests tonight who come and join us as you and I get together regularly on these Wednesday nights to talk about an opportunity that we think is just out of this world. And as you mentioned, I talk about three core beliefs, and these are things that I have developed, and honed over the years. And I guess one of the things, that's good about getting older is that you become much more clear about what you want and you've seen what works the best. And so these three core beliefs start out with number one, and it's obviously no surprise as I'm in the real estate field, real estate professional for over 30 years, that I believe everyone should own their own home. Not everybody will. Most people that, falsely believe that they can't. Tonight, we're going to show you how we're going to dispel that myth. And if you want to own a home, you should own a home because I think that's one of the cornerstones of becoming financially free. Number two, I believe that everyone should have their financial house in order. And what I mean by that is that you have to have an organized, written financial plan, whether you call it a life plan, a financial plan, it doesn't really matter. But imagine if you had the help of experts that would even help you to design your financial plan. And having it in writing is so important because with all the distractions and all the things that we've been talking about before, it's very easy to get distracted, get back on that treadmill, work, day to day, commute from the office to the home, back and forth. And, there's no time to really think anymore. So if you don't spend that time putting that plan together, often, people become these wandering generalities. And number three is that I believe that everyone should have multiple streams of income. Gone are the days where you have one job, one income, and that's going to make it in today's world. It simply won't. And what we need to have is number one, to create multiple streams of income. And more important than that is over time, create multiple passive streams of income. Because as long as you continue to trade hours for dollars, whether it's a salary job, a commission job, an hourly job, you're trading hours for dollars, which in turn means that you're automatically, because there's only 24 hours and nobody can stay awake 24 hours forever, you can't earn more than a certain amount. And whether it's, $15 an hour or $500 an hour, you're capped. You're and as Warren Buffett often says, that as long as you're trading hours for dollars, you'll never be able to retire and live financially free. So those are my three financial beliefs. And I'll tell you, one of the interesting things is that when I was presented with the MWR opportunity and what they do and the membership that they offer, I was very pleased to see all of those core values that I have in that company.
Oh, no question about it, Eric. And that's why I said earlier, it's a perfect match. It's a marriage made in heaven. And because it lines right up with what you believe. So we want to help people understand that those things that you spoke about can become a reality. You mentioned earlier that many people don't believe it's even possible. We're going to show you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, how it is possible. But the gentleman that you just heard from actually created, formed, and is hosting the longest running syndicated radio talk show in real estate in the country. And listen, we're proud to have him on board. We're excited that he brings not only his knowledge, but his energy to this platform. So, as Eric mentioned, tonight we show you an opportunity. It's called MWR, and MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. And this is where Lifestyle and Legacy connect, ladies and gentlemen. This is our Lifestyle and Legacy presentation. Our ability now to live the lifestyle that you and I want and build the legacy that your family deserve has now become a reality. So, Eric, let's dig in and get into it. But there's some roadblocks. There's some things that hold us up, right? But let's talk about the reasons first. Why we do what we do. Well, to maintain whatever current lifestyle we've created, but also we're betting on a future lifestyle. We want to put some things in place. The legacy is important. How do you leave this earth, and what position do you leave your family in? But there are challenges as it relates to us being able to make those things a reality. One, how do we make more money? I mean, let's answer that question. Two, how do we keep more of the money that we make? And three, how do we make our money work for us? This is the $1 million question, because we know that money's going to outwork you and me. It'll work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You mentioned earlier, there'll never be enough time in the day for you and I to generate the level of income that we need to set us free. But money operates totally different. And as a result of us not positioning ourselves, look at the results for most Americans, 50 plus years. Eric, I know you remember that number used to be 40, but they've changed that. And this is where we are. What are we doing? Financing a lifestyle instead of owning one. And we're leaving our family in debt instead of a legacy. So, my friend, this is the hard reality of the average person in the country at this moment.
It is. And like I said, when we get on that treadmill, we talk about the 40-40-40 trap, which is now more like the 50-50-40 trap. Still people are still retiring on 40% of what they weren't making when they were working full time. And yet people are working longer hours in the week, longer years in their life. And yet we're still have a situation where 80% of Americans retire financially dependent on Social Security and the assistance of family and friends.
I mean, it's a hard truth, but again, there's a way out of it. And what do we offer? MWR is the difference. We believe that, no question, because it's the only opportunity that guarantees your success. Now, keep in mind, Mr. Wilner, we're operating within the financial service space. We're talking guarantees. Doesn't happen every day. Look at what they say. If our experts, strategies, or opportunity can't put more money back into your pocket than the cost of the membership in the first 30 days, MWR gives them a full refund. Now, you've been operating in the financial service space for decades, my friend. Do you ever see this happen as it relates to a guarantee?
You don't. In fact, some companies prohibit their agents and their employees from using the word guarantee because they're afraid of lawsuits. But here is one of the few places, I think this is a company in a category of one, where they give you a guarantee that if you use the membership, that it will pay you. Okay. So we're not talking about a cost. We're talking about an investment in your financial future.
This is how we got to look at it. It will be an investment, and absolutely investment with no risk to you. And the only way, ladies and gentlemen, that you lose with this one is by simply choosing not to participate. And we strongly encourage you to participate in your own rescue. Upload the document, schedule the appointment, give the experts everything they need to help you shift your financial life from where it is to where you'd like it to be. How do we do it? This membership is going to unfold for you and help you understand. We talked earlier, Eric, about the experts and what they can do to help put more money back into your pocket. basically make your money work for you and protect the assets and income that we help you build. It seems to me that we're here to help. We're bringing strategies to the table to position yourself to win.
That's the fact, and there's a money game going on out there, Dr. Parker, and a lot of people don't realize that there's a money game going on out there. And it's our mission here with MWR not only to teach you the rules of the money game, but to assist you in winning at that game.
Wow. That's what we want to do. And listen, the experts are going to do all the work, and you and I are going to get the results, ladies and gentlemen. But let's move further and dig a little deeper as it relates to the strategies, right? What are we up to? What are we trying to do? We're helping you put money back into your pocket. Who's taking the money from you? The big three, the government, banks, and big business. We do it every single day, but we've got a plan in place, Eric. We talk about helping them eliminate their debt, reduce their taxes, lower the bills and healthcare costs, providing them the ability to restore and increase their credit score and turn their rent into home ownership, which is, I know we're in your wheelhouse now, but I've just gotten a young lady into the program who's about to do just that. Turn 12 years of rent into home ownership. How do you do it? Not through a traditional bank. No qualifications there, but we can make it happen here at MWR. Plus $150 a month in reward dollars, money that you can use toward everyday purchase, dining, shopping. And that money continues to accumulate month after month, even if you don't spend the entire 150. This platform is for winners, Eric.
Yeah, and I like to kind of call this the Costco of finances, right? Under one umbrella, under one roof, you have a company that offers a number of current financial lifestyle strategies. What you see here is I call our level one strategies. See, I don't care whether you have $2 in your wallet or whether you have $2 million in your bank account. Everybody needs to look and manage their taxes. We have experts, CPAs, IRS enrolled agents that help you to do exactly that. And by the way, without having to worry about expensive hourly rates of $200, $300, $400 an hour. So eliminate or reduce your taxes is one area that everyone needs to take good care of. Number two, the number one expense most people have is their finance charges and interest rates. Why? Because debt. And you know what they say about debt? They say that debt is the middleman between you and financial freedom. Imagine having CFPs, certified financial planners, again, on your speed dial, unlimited access to help you design and implement a financial plan that gets you out of the rut that you're in. Lower my bills. We have experts that actually analyze your bills and will find you savings in the bills that you're already paying without having to change companies, without having, in often cases, not even having to change carriers. And then finally, and this is one area that everyone needs to manage. A lot of people don't take care of their credit. They only think about it when they need to go out and finance something, and then they find out and they get surprises and they don't manage it. Do you know that Harvard published a study that says that an 800 credit score is equal to or greater than $100,000 in the bank? You can do more with an 800 credit score. And imagine a membership, a financial membership that not only does all those other things, but also manages and monitors and helps you to repair and rebuild and restore your credit. Those are four essential things that everybody should be doing, everybody should be using, and this membership provides that in a way that I've never seen done in the marketplace before.
I mean, it's an incredible opportunity for people that are serious about getting their financial life in order. But before we go further, let's talk about turning rent into home ownership. For those who may be, wanting to transition from rent to home ownership, but can't walk into a bank tomorrow and qualify for traditional lending, is there an option?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is one of the things, again, that I'm very, very passionate about. Turn your rent into home ownership. My favorite little saying is when the banks say no, we say yes. And here is a program that is not based on credit. Okay. Credit is not the determining factor. I'll tell you what is. It's what can you afford? It's your income that determines whether you can be a homeowner or not. And so I always say that if you can afford to pay rent, then you can afford to pay a mortgage. And why not own your own home when there's so many advantages? And so this program, which again is unlike any, available in all 50 states, we have housing experts that help make the American dream of home ownership a reality with this membership.
No question about it. Eric, let's talk about the savings, what we're able to do for the average person that takes advantage of this platform.
Yeah, and this is why I keep saying that this is an investment, not a cost, because if you could invest, a certain membership fee on a monthly basis and save over $2,000. I ask you, Gerald, if I said that I have this special ATM machine, you put $20 into the machine and it spits out $100. How many times would you do that?
All day, every day, as many times as I could, for sure.
This is what we're talking about, and aided and assisted by financial experts. Access to home ownership, lowering your bills, lowering your taxes. And these are only our level one strategies, but this is part of building that very important, solid foundation in order to build upon that and grow your finances over time.
It's big business there, no question about it. So important that we figure these pieces out. Let's talk strategies now. Basically, as to what our experts bring to the table in the way of working for you. They're doing what? They're multiplying and protecting the money and the assets that we help you create. But how are they doing it, Eric? Break this down for us and help us understand. But before you do that, I want our audience to understand that what you see here are the pillars that wealthy people consistently use every single day. You want to know why the rich continue to get rich? This is what they're doing.
Absolutely. And not only that, as all of these things, we haven't really invented anything here. These are tried and true strategies that are usually passed down along bloodlines, right? Or family lines. And, in between people at the country clubs, they talk about this stuff. They've been doing this stuff for over 100 years. And it's not that you've been locked out in any way. You've been priced out, right? Because people think very hard. They don't want to spend $250 an hour with their CPA to do tax planning instead of just tax preparation. They don't want to go to a financial advisor that's going to charge them $250, $300 an hour to put together a financial plan. And that's why, I humbly call this the Costco of finances. And now what you're looking on the screen is what I call the level 2 finances. You see, the first name of the game is the income that you are already earning. How much of it are you keeping? Let's claw back from the government, from big banks and all these other places that are, vacuuming out your wallet. But once we have the experts help you to do that, what do you do with the money? Well, we don't leave you out in the cold with that. What we do is now we direct you to a whole new set of experts. Our diversified cash flow account, just like the banks that borrow, you deposit your money, which is really them borrowing. You deposit you deposit your money in the bank. They'll pay you something like 0 point nothing percent. They're going to turn around and today they're going to rent it out or lend it out at about 6.5%. So they have a 6.5% profit margin. Okay. Now think about that for a second. 6.5% profit margin on money they don't pay for, but they charge for when they lend it out. But here's the thing, it is a famous TV commercial used to say, but wait, that's not all. When the money comes in on the payments, do they put that money back into your account? No, they lend it out again and again and again and again, 9 to 11, 12 times. Now multiply 6.5% times 10. That's a 65% return on a money, which they never even invested. That's called other people's money. The wealthy know it. The banks know it. Wall Street knows it. They're all in on it. And now you can too. The private reserve account allows you to earn above bank rate interest rates while protecting your assets, being asset and liability protected. We have land banking. We have experts that buy property in the path of already known progress. They're experts. That's what they do, And Disney is a great example of how They bought the land, assembled that land because they knew they had a program and a plan for it. And those people who were involved in that land banking transaction made fortunes, fortunes. Right now, our members are getting over 30% returns just in their land banking investments. The newest kid on the block is our precious metals. And not that precious metals are new, they've been around forever and ever. But to be able to buy, the five big ones, gold, silver, palladium, platinum, and so forth, and have a repository that holds the actual metal, not paper representations or derivatives, but the actual metals. We have now and are building our own private repository where these precious metals are held. And we'll talk more about in another time, but there's a lot going on. Today I heard in the news this morning, gold hit a new all-time high at $4,400 an ounce.
Wow.
Okay. And you and I know that silver's had a run, and there's a lot going on. Precious metals should be a part of your portfolio. And then finally, when you have now clawed back your money, level one, saved and kept more money, invested it well in our level two strategies, the next thing is to protect that money. We don't want to have to go out and make it again. We don't want to lose it to frivolous lawsuits and other people and opportunists. We have our own trust department. So now even trusts are accessible to everybody, everyday people. And we have our Trust My Assets department. And like we say, this is how you live, and leave a legacy.
It's an awesome opportunity, Eric. You just went over the pillars that wealthy people use to succeed and continue to succeed. And they pass this knowledge and on to generations through that trust opportunity, actually, is how the vehicle that they use to do it. But you talked about precious metals. What we're about to unleash is a leasing program that allows you not only to take advantage of the appreciation of the metal, but to get a return, consistent residual income from that investment. Guys, this is a big deal. We talk about the ability now to close the gap. I mean, to speed up the process, to put you in a position to live the life of your dream. We showed you earlier how you can, take advantage of the services, put that money back into your pocket, and then look at the possibilities of using these investment vehicles as tools to get there. So now, Eric, we've covered a lot. We talk about offering services that wealthy people have access to, use, and are very successful in doing so and creating the life of their dreams. Now the question is, and here's a $64 million question. We're talking about securing your lifestyle and your legacy in one membership with all those things you just mentioned for the cost of only $149.97. Now, I know you want to chime in on this one, but when I look at $149.97, we know the average cost of a good CPA, a financial planner, in any city in America right now is $200 to $300 an hour. And you mentioned it earlier. We're not, locked out of this process of gaining wealth. We've been priced out of the process.
That's right. That's right. And and so we're talking about here a cost per month, not a cost per hour. And that's why I saw the tremendous value in this membership and all of the access that I have without having to worry about the meter running. And this program, which, as you said, the average savings, just the savings of our members is over $2,000. So I go back to that ATM example. Now we're not talking about $20 in and $100 out. We're talking about $149 in, but $2,000 plus out. How many times would you still do that, Dr. Parker?
As many times as I could, my friend. That's a winning combination right there.
And the beautiful thing is that our membership has no contracts, so you're not locked into anything. You don't like it, you saw the guarantee. There's no setup fees, so there's no upfront or junk costs that are involved in there. The program, by the way, includes a second person, right? Your spouse, your domestic partner, your daughter, your son, two people at the same address, all the benefits for the same low price of $149.97. And remember, you've got CPA, CFPs, IRS enrolled agents working for you. The experts do all of the work. You get all of the results. And as you mentioned, there's no risk. The only risk you have is in not participating because there's a 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't save, make, or have more than what you paid in your membership, they'll cheerfully give you a refund. That's how sure they are that they deliver.
That's confidence, my friend. No question about it. But it gets even better. This is why we believe the MWR is the perfect business. Let's think about it. Where else can you get paid daily, every single day now, 7 days a week, while someone else does the work for you and everyone that you refer? There's only one way to do it, Mr. Willen. You partner with MWR, which happens to be the fastest growing financial strategies company in the country. Now, with all you bring to the table, all the things that we have, what we can offer the average person, you would think that it would cost a lot more than what we're seeing here, but help us understand how we, the average person, has a chance to participate in a multi-trillion dollar year industry headed by a company that's got 8 years of proven track record of success and giving you and I an opportunity to be a part of this.
And debt free on top of all of that. Think
Wow.
about this. Think about this, right? We talked about the membership 149.97, which is, it's worth 10 times its value when you think about it. But here's the thing. We showed you how to do the basic finances, level one. We show it, which saves you and puts more money back in your pocket. We showed you what to do with that extra money in our level two. In the beginning, you talked about the challenges of, keeping more of what you make, but then being able to make more. Here's an opportunity for you to have your own business. And this opens up really two huge windows of opportunity. Number one, it gives you access to a turnkey proven method business, basically a business in a box, a 100% IRS compliant business in a box with a startup cost of only $249, which includes the first month of the membership fee. So in reality, it's a business for $100 for a one-time setup fee. You now not only have the ability to have unlimited potential income, but number two is that now you also have access to the best tax code, because most people don't understand that there are actually two tax codes. The IRS has two sets of rules. One for employees, where they take their taxes before you even see your check. And then there's a special tax code for business owners. And by the way, guess who helped write those tax rules? Business owners who contributed to the politicians who made it possible. And so now you've got this other code where they take the taxes after you've made all the expenses. So you only pay taxes on the net amount as a business owner versus the gross amount when you're an employee. So when you think about that, literally right now, at the end of our presentation, if somebody wanted to, who is a W-2 employee, could also now have a business, have access to all of those benefits that we talk about, have access to a team of experts that help you to grow, keep, and protect your money and your assets, and to be able to use those experts to leverage what you do, right? To their systems. And by the way, $100 setup fee gives you your own private website. Now, most people, you'll spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 just to have somebody build you a website. What if you had a website that could collect information and collect dollars for you? So it's already e-commerce ready for you to be able to start your business the minute that you turn this on, and you can literally turn it on in 5 minutes. Then, in addition to the front-facing website out to the public, does the marketing, has all of the social media, you have a back office that tracks everything. All of your own business tracking software, all of the training software, also, a very, very robust back office inside of your portal. And when you see and think about all that for a one-time $100 business fee, you and I both know a lot of people will, they'll spend that $100 and a nice dinner on a weekend and won't have a business or a write-off. So here you are, you can earn unlimited daily pay with this business using industry-leading experts, residual income. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But so we showed you how to overcome the three big challenges, how to keep more of your money, how to make more money with the money that you already have, and how to make more money to accelerate that. That's
No,
what you've got right in front of you.
absolutely. Now we're going to put more money in their pocket. And guys, chime in with me if you can go to the chat and say, Mr. Wilner, show me the money. Now is the time to do it. Please put that in. We need your participation. But guys, we're going to dig in and really help you understand. Now, Eric, I love everything that we do. I love all these services. I'm a product of the product. It's turned my entire financial life around as a result of using those services. But what really drew me and keeps me is what you're about to review right now, sir, because this is our ticket out. This is the freedom that we seek. We need the financial means to do it. How do we do it? Let's share this opportunity with others and see what the possibilities are.
Show me the money. That's right. And that's what we're going to do here. And actually, MWR has done a great job. You call this the ticket. I've heard you call this, a financial plan right here and on one sheet. I call it the money menu because you can literally open it up and choose what level of income you want to achieve. What is the number? And everybody's different. What is the number that would take the stress and all of the pain and aggravation? What would allow you to walk away from your current job, for example? And here's how we build this business, and it's really very, very simple. And you're going to love the number 3 once I get done talking about this. What they're saying is that if you can build a team of 3 people, in other words, find 3 more people, and I'll bet you have 3 people right at the top of your most recent calls on your cell phone, but find 3 people who get as excited as we are about this opportunity that want to go out there and simply share. No, remember, we haven't talked about you getting any licenses. No license required, all 50 states. We haven't talked about you getting a master's in taxation, a master's in finance, because you already have the experts that do the work for you. All we do is direct people to the experts who do all the heavy lifting and the work. You get paid, they do the work, and it's a great relationship. So if you put together simply 3 people that want to go out there and share this business with you, and 2 personal sales, 2 personal customers, and by the way, you count as one. So with simply 3, the company starts to pay you a daily residual deposit into your account. And you and I both know that every day, a little bit after 5 o'clock, this little phone, it dings. You and I, if we were sitting at the same table, we'd be smiling because you and I both know that wasn't a text message from a stranger. That was a text message that it should say cha-ching, because every day, just think about this. If building a team of 3, just 3, you've got $5 coming in. That's $150 a month. That's $1,825 a year. And by the way, if you do that in the first 30 days, the company pays you a momentum bonus on top of that of another $150. So by the way, remember that the membership cost $149.97. Let's call it $150. You now have a self-sustaining business with only 3 people and a monthly residual income there of $150. But here's the thing. We talk about a momentum bonus, and that means that there should be momentum. And now what you do in the next 30 days or 30 hours, there's no rule. But if you do within the next 30 days, you help your incoming team that had faith and confidence in you, help them to get their 3 so they get their $150 bonus. The company now promotes you to $20 a day, every day at 5 o'clock. $20 times 30 is $600. Now, while $150 might not move the needle and basically, pay for your membership, I'll tell you that $600 will move the needle. That's a nice car payment. For some people, that's a significant part of their mortgage payment. For some people, it might be the difference between making ends meet and not making ends meet. But on top of that, so you're getting $600 a month. You just got a $450 bonus. Why not keep the momentum going? Now go ahead in your next month, the third month, and so in your first 90 days, the next incoming class, help them to get their 3 so that they get their money back, so that they now have a self-sustaining business. And that's just the start, right? So at this point, the company promotes you to $50 a day, $1,500 a month. That's 18,000. And all you've done on a very part-time basis is directed people to one of the best financial strategies companies on the planet. Now, that's in the first 90 days. And by the way, it doesn't have to take you 90 days. We have people who do it in 90 hours, literally. And now let's stay in that daily column for a second. Run your eyes down from 5 to 20 to 50. Oh, and let me just say one thing about that $50 a day. $50 a day times 30 is $1,500. Gerald, do you know that the average Social Security check that has been mailed out every month is only about $1,600 to $1,700? So you can duplicate what takes most people 40 or 50 years to acquire. You can do that in as little as 90 days.
Wow.
And even if it took you 90 months, okay? Would you rather work, 90 months, right, which is about 8 years, or would you rather work 50 years? Either way, the outcome is virtually the same. And this is actually better because of the way that the business works. So as you go down that daily column, whether it's 50, 100, $200, $300, $300 a day, if you think about it, times 30 is $9,000. 12 months, that's a 6-figure income. That is, what creates millionaires right there. In fact, we have a millionaire ring earner, my partner right here on there. Show us that Super Bowl ring. That's because you've passed that point where you're now in the running now. And look at as the numbers go down, 400, 500, $1,000 a day. Just imagine your bank account growing every day at 5 o'clock by $1,000. And all you did was build a team that builds a team that builds a team. You see, those numbers may seem like those are big numbers, but this all started with you just getting 3 people. You and I both know a gentleman out of Atlanta, Georgia today, who is at the $1,500 a day. Do you know that every day, every single day, and for the last couple of years, he's been receiving $1,500 into his account? And by the way, what I have found that between this and the 7 other income streams that we have that MWR very generously pays, that usually whatever you're making in the luxury residual is about the same as what you're making in the other areas as well. So the numbers are actually far greater. But this column goes all the way down to $15,000. Now, I don't know if you can imagine what life would be like if your bank account grew by $15,000 every single day. And by the way, we didn't say weekdays. We said every single day of the year, Monday through Sunday. And Gerald, if you had $15,000 coming into your account, even if you had $1,500 coming into your account every day, what changes?
Everything, my friend. The car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, where you send your kids to school. Guys, this is life changing. And Eric, you just touched on some of the money. You talked about the daily guarantee, but there's a lifestyle bonus in play. There's a legacy bonus in play. You covered the momentum bonus. But guys, here's the thing. If the idea is to look at these investment vehicles that we offer, like precious metals, land banking, all the other things, the DCAs, we need the financial means to get there, right? To be able to get in the game. Here's a way to do it. Let's build a business. Let's share the opportunity. If you want to take it a step further and look at business funding, there's an upfront fee of $3,000 to get started there. Where do we get the money from? Eric just showed you. Go get 36 people. 2 months, you've got what you need to get started with business funding to secure $50,000, to put that toward an investment vehicle like precious metals. The opportunity that we seek is in the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. You've laid it out, Eric. I mean, 3 turns into 12, 12 into 36, 36 turns into 90 people. And from there, we just start running. But think about the number of people that are joining us tonight. How many of those people in their phone right now have regional director 300 contacts? 300 people. That's what it takes at $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year in real time. We've got a gentleman that's a part of this platform tonight, our business partner out of Southern California, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, who is doing just that. And Eric, you talked about whether it took you 90 days or 90 months. Fernando was able to achieve this in a matter of 8 months. I mean, think about that. To position yourself to make $200 a day, $6,000 a month, that's $73,000 a year. What percentage does that put him in as far as people in the United States that generate that level of income? That's a very small percentage of people. That's a small group.
And again, on a part-time basis, this is not a full-time effort. This is you sharing what this company can do for you. In other words, you're bringing people an average of $2,000 a month savings. They're able to make an investment that multiplies their investments. And yet, as you often say, they pay us a ridiculous amount of money for what we actually do. And here's the other thing, as I tell people my story, when I was introduced to this and they showed me how I could make $5 a day, $150. I'll be honest, that didn't move the needle for me. That wouldn't change my life. But as you follow this column down, and as you see the simple, very straightforward blueprint that they laid out for us, and when you see the possibility of $15,000 a day, that's $450,000 a month, not annually, that's a month. That's $5.4 million. I just simply smiled and I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's athlete's money. And a lot of us were athletes in school, and then we found out that it takes a rare person to become an NFL level, an NBA level athlete making millions of dollars. And yet here, the everyday person, and whether you're 5 foot tall or 7 foot tall, you can do this. It's really a very simple thing. And you know why? What is the number one conversation that everybody has every single day?
Money.
Money. That's exactly right. People are always talking, it's the price of eggs, it's the price of gasoline, it's inflation, is it interest rates? You're standing in line. I went and picked up my son from school today, and I was talking to one of the neighbors, and they were talking about how prices since COVID, and the last president, the inflation, and I didn't start that conversation. They did, right? And somebody starts that conversation, I bet you, every minute of every day. And that's why all I have to do when that conversation comes up, well, luckily, in my business, I don't have to worry about that because I have experts working for it. And then people say, well, what business are you in? And boom, guess what we just opened up? Let's talk a little bit about the opportunity. By the way, what are you doing on Wednesday night at 8:30?
There you go. I mean, we've got a platform for you. Invite them here and let them see and hear for themselves what all the excitement is about. But Eric, you talk about $15,000 a day, $15,000 a day, and what changes, right? So, guys, I want you to understand that these numbers are over and above what you may be currently doing to generate income. You've just gathered a group of like-minded people, just a handful, to see what you see, and you guys lock arms and run to the hills with this. $15,000 a day, $450,000 a month, well over $5 million a year. My friend, I want to ask you this. You are highly successful in the real estate business, but how aggressive will you become when you start generating an additional $15,000 a day, $5 million a year?
It's a beautiful thing. In fact, I hope that anybody who is in the related fields of real estate or mortgages, even if you're a financial planner or an insurance, this is an extra add-on. It's a value add that you can add to your clients. You see, the reason that I saw a number of things. I told you that it aligned with my principles. You see, if it didn't align with my principles, I wouldn't care how much they paid because it wouldn't be for me. But in this case here, it aligned well, number one, and it also aligns well with my clients. So this is something that I would recommend to each and every one of my clients. And as a result of that, in the normal course of your day, you talk to people. Again, the money conversation comes up. It doesn't matter what field you are. But listen, I wouldn't be a realtor without this. I wouldn't be a mortgage broker without this. I wouldn't be, a financial, I know that industry very well. In insurance, you have to be licensed in each state that you operate in, right? You have to pay annual continuing education fees. It's not easy in that business. And here, I'm either doing the work nor required to be licensed, nor required to do the continuing education. And I can make more than those people in their field. This could easily become and equal what my full-time income is in the real estate profession as this thing continues to grow. And all I'm doing in the course of my everyday operations is sharing.
That's all we're doing, my friend. Just sharing, and the experts are doing the work. You and I are getting paid every single day. Hey, but Eric, let's break it down even further, right? And we're going to take the long way home on this one to help people understand that it doesn't take a lot to build this, particularly a six-figure income. How do we do it? Let's just say we've got 12 people that we sponsored as business partners, and it took us, a year to do it. We've sponsored one person per month. We've enrolled one customer. All right. So where does that put us? What track are we on now, and how quick can we get this thing done over a period of the next couple of years?
Well, so originally I talked about doing, 3 in 30 days, build it to 12 in 60 days. What about if you only did one a month? Okay. Talk about super hyper part-time, right? There's an oxymoron for you. 12 people in the first year and one customer now makes you eligible. That's 13 total members that your organization created. You're now already a two-star executive director and earning $600 a month. And all you did was one person per month to get there. Now, let's say that you duplicated that the next year, okay? You didn't pick up any steam, any momentum. But you're consistent. And that's the secret of this business is consistency. So if you get one person per month, that means that you'll have gotten 24. But remember, your first 12, if they did that, then you would have the 72 people total customers in your organizations, 72 agents in your organization for a total of 157 people in there. Now you're a 4-star executive director earning $3,000 a month, twice what Social Security pays most people. And that's in your second year. Now, let's take that slow momentum forward and do it again. You go out and get your 12. Half the people out there, by the way, not even all 12 of the people you brought in are going out there. Let's just say that half of them are doing the same thing. By the third year, you've got 216 folks in your organization. And by the way, in 3 years, that means I did 36, 12, 12, 12, but I've got 216 because of the power of leverage. And J. Paul Getty said, I would rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own. And P.S., 216 minus the 36, you're looking at 170 or so, 180 people out there that came by no direct effort of your own. Now with the 216 customers on top of that, because each one of them got one customer, now you have 589 people in your business, right? Generating cash flow. What cash flow? $9,000 a month cash flow, a 6-figure income. Remember, we talked about whether it took 90 days or 90 months. Well, here's 36 months to a 6-figure income. And for many people, that would be great. That would be enough. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's possible. And this example here is just to give you an idea. This is not about all you doing the effort. This is about you sharing and sharing with others who then want to share with others. Because I guarantee you that once you start using some of these services, I've used the trust services, I've used the CPAs to set up entities, many of my clients are amazed that I just pick up the phone or I just type into my portal any tax question that I have, anything that I have that the experts can handle. And they says, well, don't you worry about the expense? And I go, no, I have MWR. I know my expense is fixed, but my income is unlimited.
I like that, sir. Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, the results speak for themselves, right? MWR already has $1 million residual club ring earners and thousands more who are doing these things. They're getting paid every single day. All right. They're saving more money. All right, they're earning interest instead of paying it. We know the difference there. And thanks to Keys to Home Ownership, Mr. Eric Wilner, they're building and buying their dream homes. Not only that, we're driving the cars of our dreams, living their dream lifestyle, and also leaving a legacy for our families. Guys, everybody here at MWR is winning. The only one's missing is you. And I'll ask you this: if not MWR, then what? And if not now, then when? Now is our time to grow and to position ourselves in a major way to turn the corner and get this business out of the way. I mean, Eric, I call it, getting on the other side of money. That's a place you go where you don't have to worry about it again. Think about waking up on any given morning, never having to worry about money again. I want to experience that. And we have an opportunity to do that. So we've got some choices, my friend. What are they?
Well, there's three choices, right? You can say this was very entertaining, this is nice, but I'm going to go back to my normal routine. Now, remember the definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And you said, who wouldn't like to be able to take your foot off the accelerator, your hands off the wheel, and say, listen, I can coast because the money part is already taken care of. So number one, it starts with the membership, right? The membership. We talked about all the things, the level 1 strategies, the level 2 strategies, the trust protection, and all of the experts that come with it. Literally, this is a membership that no one should be without if they want to become financially free. That's some of the money. All of the money means that not only do you want the membership and get the membership, but you also have that business, that what I call the 100% IRS compliant business in a box, a pre-tested formula that works. As you mentioned, a multi-million-dollar company, 8 years old, so it wasn't born yesterday, in a multi-trillion-dollar industry, all for $249. The difference is $100. Gerald, when I saw this, why would I give up all of that opportunity and not pay the extra $100, which, like I said before, I probably have spent it on dinner once.
Oh,
And
yeah.
here now I have a business with a total startup cost of $249, unlimited income, access to the best tax deductions, over 400 different tax deductions. So whether you are an excitable entrepreneur, this is a phenomenal opportunity. If you're an analytical, investor-oriented person, this membership is essential. It's a missing piece to the puzzle. Maybe you're a driver, a driver kind of a person that wants to have both, right? I want to have my own investments. I want to grow my portfolio, and I want to go out there and, and build big goals. Or maybe you're just a person that loves to serve, right? Dr. Parker has a project that he's been working on for years in the ministry area. We have a very spiritually centered company and founder. Our business is good for people. And Dr. Parker started the Kingdom Builders, where he goes out and he educates pastors, ministers, and other church leaders on how to create a financial platform, a stewardship platform that most churches don't have. And MWR is a great vehicle for that. And so, I take my hat off to you, Dr. Parker, which, by the way, doctor in theology, wasn't a doctor when I met him. He didn't start out this business as a doctor, but look at all the wonderful things that this company and this opportunity has done for you.
Oh, no question about it, Eric. It has been life changing. It created time freedom and the financial means to make these dreams a reality. I mean, the most recent project, the completion of the book, and as you say, to finish school, to earn a doctorate in theology, time and resources required, and there was no way that I could have done it on that traditional path. I mean, trading time for dollars, which is what I was doing. I saw this opportunity within 2 years. I started generating enough income to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. So there's not one person on earth that can say to me that MWR doesn't work. I mean, but you have to work it, get plugged in and watch this thing work for you. Again, let's go back to the difference that we make. We're the only opportunity that guarantees your success. Again, look at what they say. And this is pretty bold, Eric, for them to put it in writing. They say for our expert strategy, the opportunity cannot put more money back into your pocket than the cost of the membership in the first 30 days. MWR gives you a full refund. That eliminates all the risk. The only way that you lose is you simply choose not to participate. But Eric, the story gets even better, and we're going to close with this. Now, if you've seen enough and heard enough tonight to join us on this movement, let me be the first, along with Mr. Wilder, to welcome you to the MWR family. Now, we strongly suggest that you get back with the marketing director that referred you and let them know whether you want some of the money, as Eric talked about, or you want all the money. I say get started now. Why waste any more time? It's now time for us to finish and get to the life that we deserve, the ability to live a lifestyle and a legacy. It all comes together here. But Eric, we'll conclude with this one, and I'll let you talk about this. We talked about lifestyle. We talked about legacy. All right. We can help you create both. But at the end of the day, here's the question that we must ponder. And I think the screen shows it all. The photo.
Yeah,
you see here.
the picture really says it. You know, we don't have to talk about the lifestyle. It all depends on what you really want, but it's available here. You know, let's get on the other side of money, as you said. But here's the legacy question is very interesting, right? How do you make an impact on future generations? Well, the Carnegies, you know, the Rockefellers, all of those people, the Gates, and now the Musks, they'll tell you, right? You know, for generations, people will look back at the picture of their great grandfather or grandfather that founded this unlimited, ever never ending income stream, passive income stream, and built, you know, the financial freedom that eludes so many people. At your house, whose picture is going to be, and you know, and will your grandchildren remember you for having been, you know, a pillar that educated, you know, brought that financial literacy and passed it down? Because I promise you, all of those bloodline families, they look back, you know, multi generations, and they said it all started right with Dr. Gerald Parker, who then, you know, passed it on to his kids and his kids' kids and his grandkids' kids. That's what's possible when you know the rules of the money game. So, hey, you know, it's been a pleasure. Every Wednesday night, I look forward to, you know, the highlight, what I call, you know, the positive bookend of my day. You know, I start my day with, you know, positive things. And I always know that on Wednesday, I get to spend time with you. And it's always not only an honor, but a pleasure to hang out with you, Dr. Parker.
Oh, Eric, the honor is mine, sir. But I wanted to kind of piggyback on something you said as it relates to this photo we're seeing here. You know, where your great grandchildren remember you, and we talk about legacy. It reminds me of the story of Conrad Hilton, who started the Hilton hotel chain. So here we are, 5 generations later. He has a great granddaughter named Paris, right? Paris Hilton. Now, I don't believe she's ever worked a day in her life. Why? She was born into wealth. And what has she done significant? I mean, that you could, is she hasn't been successful in movies. I don't know what else she does other than have the name. She's a beautiful woman, but because of the name, Eric, she nor her children or even their children will ever have to worry about money. That's what we talk about when we talk about legacy and generational wealth.
Yep. And you don't have to have big hotels and big buildings when you invest correctly. I think they've lost count of the number of millionaires in America. And, you know, and to become a millionaire is not the end goal, right? But it's the income that really matters, and much more so than the assets. But when you have assets to generate the income that support the lifestyle you want to have, you're there. You're there. And now you have the experts that show you exactly. And remember my 3 beliefs. Number 1, own your own home. Number 2, have a financial plan. Use these financial experts. You'd be foolish not to. And number 3, get multiple streams of income. And we showed you how to do that this evening. And hopefully you'll take take the opportunity to thank the person that invited you to tonight's presentation. Get back with them if you have any questions, whatever they can't answer. Certainly Dr. Parker and I are happy to answer those questions, and don't let another day go by. If not this, then, I hope you know what, and if not now, in today's economy, in today's world, then when?
I say the same, my friend. We're going to stop the screen share. You mentioned that there were questions, and there may be some. So, guys, this is your opportunity. We don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. If there's a question out there, now would be the time. We've got Fernando working in the background, controlling the platform. So you're going to have the ability to unmute yourself as well as open your camera. And please, now would be the time. Let's get your questions answered, so that you can make an educated decision to join us on this mission, this ministry, this crusade, this movement, because that's truly what it's become. And if you've not seen enough already as it relates to where we are as a society, where we are in this economy, and knowing full well that we need to have a plan in place. Eric talked about it earlier. Now would be the time to take a hard look at a viable plan, a way to really move yourself forward. We believe that MWR truly is that. So, Eric, I guess we did okay. We don't have any questions, but I know we've got some leaders on the platform with us tonight. Our good friend out of Los Angeles, California, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, as well as Mr. Randy Christensen out of Greeley, Colorado. I think I may have seen Coach T, Trevor Thompson, jump on. There may be a few others. But, guys, again, anything that you'd like to share for the good of the platform tonight, I want to thank everybody who did join us. And, Eric, once again, it's an honor to be here with you, my friend, and truly to share this space with you. Fernando Ramirez, our good friend out of Southern California, regional director, $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. I hope you don't mind me telling people how much money you make, but he did it in 8 months, ladies and gentlemen, 8 months from this same revenue sharing plan that Eric just went over with you. He didn't deviate.
Once again, that's one of the revenue streams. That's not even all of the money.
Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. Wow, Mr. Ramirez, your thoughts?
Hey, see, you become contagious with the energy. So why would take advantage of the opportunity to capitalize on that excitement, right? Yeah, that was the first thing that we did. Martha and I, was to be able to transition from a practice company and be able to generate enough to be able to comfortably build the business. So the objective was to stay together, to go through the course of the process of growing the business. So right away, we lined up the dots. We found great people like Eric Wilner, a leader, right? Anna Rodriguez, Wendell Field, many others. Jameson now, growing into a leader, Elisa. So there's lots of people that you can give this opportunity to. And see, the dream about MWR is to be able to take everything away that deviates you from the purpose of your dreams. So you heard the stories of Dr. G.W. Parker, Mr. Eric Wilder. I mean, they see this platform the way we see the platform. It's everything. It creates leverage in multiple ways: income, assets, banking. So taking advantage of an opportunity like that for us was a no-brainer. We said, you know what, this is it. This is where we're staying. And the thing that I like about what we saw, Dr. G.W. Parker and Mr. Eric Wilder, was the residual income guaranteed. Never seen that in the industry of network marketing. We've been a part of the industry for 31 years. We made lots of money, but nothing come as close as what MWR has in store. And I'm thrilled to what the company is starting to do, going in the direction of making this the most attractive business model to be able to help people leverage their time so they can go back and doing the things that they deserve to do, where you have money working for you, assets, team partners. I mean, you can't go wrong with MWR. So thanks again, everyone.
No, sir. Thank you very much, Fernando. Absolutely.
Right.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for joining the platform tonight. Let's invite someone with you. Bring him here next Wednesday night. Let them see and hear what all the excitement is about. Let's double our numbers. Now will be the time to get as many people in front of this opportunity as possible. Let them make their own decisions. Don't prejudge anybody, because as Fernando Ramirez always says, there are people that are living quiet lives of desperation, right? They look good on the outside, but boy, I tell you, if you dig a little deeper, they're hurting financially and struggling to make that car payment on that fancy car and to maintain that mortgage on that fancy house. 2 people in a 5-bedroom house, 3 baths. I don't understand why it makes sense, but many people are doing it. We don't live within our means, Eric, and so that we create our own problems financially. And as you said earlier, you don't need to own a Hilton hotel to become financially independent and financially free. I mean, I take a guy making $50,000 a year with zero debt. I mean, that's he's doing real good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? With no mortgage, no credit card debt, he's not no car payments. That's a good life he can create for himself versus the guy who makes $100,000 a year and he's strapped in debt to the hilt. You know, so what life do you want?
And it's all by design.
All by design.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Let's go get it, guys. God bless you
All
all.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Take care. See you all at the top. Bye-bye. Microphones are open and cameras as well. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, James.